Welcome back. Now, the NDTV SL Save Our Tigers campaign had drawn attention to the issue of regulating tourism in tiger reserves. While tourism is, of course, an important part of conservation and it helps to protect tigers, we'd also argued that it does need to be monitored and controlled. Now, the government has taken action on that and has set up a new committee to look into wildlife tourism issues. This committee will be evolving guidelines for forest and wildlife ecotourism across the country and also be looking at various ecological issues. So joining us now to talk all about it, Ravi Singh, Director, WWF-India, is joining us on satellite, and it's a great pleasure to have with us the person who's going to be heading that committee, actually, Mr. Rajesh Gopal, or member of the committee, convener of the committee. Mr. Rajesh Gopal, Member Secretary of the Tiger Conservation Authority, and the person who's ultimately in charge of making sure that the tiger doesn't die, right, Rajesh? So tell us, this committee, we've already seen some action being taken in Govt and other places on this New Year's Eve. Fortunately, thankfully, disco dancing is banned and loud music is banned. Yes. What else is this committee going to be looking at?
Well, Vikram, let me start by saying we must compliment you, your team, for spreading the awareness. Really, that has helped now. Last year, as you said, there were a lot of new noise all around Govt, so that's not happening now. Now,
so that will be stopped this year. This New Year's Eve will be quiet and peaceful.
Hopefully, yes.
Okay.
And now we have 5 or 6 very high-profile parks like Govt. You have Ranthambore, you have Kanha, you have Bandhavgarh, and so on. Now the infrastructure all around and the kind of traffic we have, visitation inside the core areas, these are real cause for concern, because you see you have these areas set aside for the tigers to breed and multiply. So we are not against tourism, but we just want the thing to be regulated, so it doesn't create something bad for the tigers. You see, tigers, you disturb them outside, you disturb them inside as well. Now this committee, which our minister has recently constituted, is headed by the former secretary of the tourism ministry, Mr. Banerjee is there, and then we have a couple of experts and scientists in the committee. So within the ambit of the Wildlife Protection Act as well as the Forest Conservation Act and the advisories which have been earlier issued, plus the other recommendations of the Tiger Task Force and so on, the committee will come up with a set of guidelines.
Guidelines as to what should be done. Ravi, just wanted to get you in on this, because, I mean, there are a lot of experts who say at the end of the day, having tourism in tiger reserves is a good idea. It gives people an economic incentive. It also focuses attention a bit on the tiger, but it needs to be controlled, as Rajesh was saying.
Historically, some of the statements, some of the comments you made are absolutely right. Tourism helped places like Ranthambore to come up, get onto the map. People became aware of what is happening with tigers and what were the dynamics in terms of protection. It helped in certain areas, certainly in areas like Bandhavgarh in the initial stages as well. And secondly, how else do you have people come and have an experience and see the tiger in the wild and things like that? So it's an important part. However, the kind of footprint that we are seeing currently, the kind of issues that are coming up around these national parks and sanctuaries, we have instances where 7-story structures are being planned. There are flats are being advertised around our national parks and sanctuaries for time sharing. They may not be. They might be in revenue areas. But there seems to be an open license to try and get as many people into some of these sanctuaries and national parks. It is extremely negative for the breeding of tigers. And I think this argument needs to be differentiated, because where you don't want tourism is in the core critical habitat, the breeding and the natal area of tigers. Okay. I think this should be put on one side, and tourism in areas where there is zoning and there could be control, I think that part of it would still go ahead as being positive.